If you're an Indian overseas and you're currently thinking about traveling to India and wondering whether you should fly direct or indirect and which option to choose and why, I'm here to tell you 5 things that you need to keep in mind while deciding which one to go with. Hi, this is Michael Khanna from SOS Global Indians, and I'm here to discuss with you this perplexing issue which a lot of our members are facing currently, which is to choose whether to fly directly to India or to fly indirectly to India. So, the first thing I want to talk about is basically to travel the least time that you can choose and lessen your layover time as best as possible. So, what I basically mean by this particular step is that given the current circumstances because of COVID, it is highly advisable and we recommend as a group that you travel the least time slot or the least time taking route available to you. So obviously, if you could choose a direct flight, that's a preferable option. And obviously, if you can reduce your layover times en route to India, then your exposure overall in this current scenario while you're traveling reduces. And obviously, from a health standpoint, that may make a lot of sense for you and your family members, of course. The next thing I want to talk about is the flight options that are available. When we say direct, we have flights that go basically from an overseas country to India, for example, from the US or the UK. And a direct flight would be something like a United or a British Airways that flies from either the US or UK directly to India. And an indirect flight basically would mean if you're flying another airline which flies either via Europe or via the Middle East, and you choose that particular option when flying from an overseas location to India, would be considered to be an indirect option. The third thing I want to discuss is if you're a US citizen or a green card holder, what are your options? And if you're an Indian citizen, what are your options? And how, in each of these cases, the choice becomes slightly different. And you need to factor this in when you are planning your flights. Now, for US citizens and green card holders, first and foremost, they need to have either an OCI, a PIO status, that is, or they need to apply for an emergency visa to be able to fly to India. You cannot use any other visa category that is currently available, whether it's an e-visa or a visitor's visa, whichever is the case that you already have, that will not apply. But you can travel on an OCI status or a PIO status, or if you apply for an emergency visa. If you're a green card holder with an Indian passport, or if you're an Indian citizen with an Indian passport, then also you can fly to India and you don't need to apply for an emergency visa in that case. But the biggest thing you need to keep in mind is when you're traveling back from India to, say, the US or the UK, because in each of these cases, your status would decide what routing and what flight options you could take. For example, if you're a US citizen, you can fly back directly or indirectly to the US. You could choose to take, a direct flight, or you could take a flight via the Middle East or even Europe on your way to the US. If you're a green card holder, you need to be accompanied by a US citizen spouse to be able to fly indirectly back via, say, the Middle East or Europe. But you can directly fly from India back to the US without any issues. If you're an Indian citizen, then you need to only fly directly from India back to the country which you came from. You cannot fly indirectly. That option of transiting via the Middle East or via Europe, etc., is not available for Indian citizens as stipulated by the Government of India. And the last thing that I want to touch upon is basically the current COVID test rules and the Air Suvidha website. As you're aware, recently the pre-flight COVID testing rule was changed effective November 13th, 2020 from 96 hours to 72 hours, with the exception of Chennai and Tamil Nadu, of course. And what this basically means is that you have to do a pre-flight COVID test within 72 hours of boarding your flight. So you back calculate your 72 hours from the departure time from, say, the US, and you conduct your test. You upload the proof of the test taken immediately after you take that test, and subsequently when you receive your result, you have to upload that result on the Air Suvidha website. There are some exemption forms which you need to fill up as part of this process, and all of this has been explained very nicely on the Air Suvidha website, so you can just take a look and follow the steps. Now, this particular allowance was earlier 96 hours, meaning you could have done all of this within 96 hours, but now you're expected to do all of this within 72 hours of your departure. Chennai airport is the only exception where the 96-hour rule still applies. But for the rest of India, the new 72-hour prior to departure rule applies. So these are the 5 things that I wanted to discuss with you with regards to your flight planning, route planning, and to help you make a better decision about whether to fly directly or indirectly when traveling to India under the current circumstances. Please do consider supporting us. We have a Patreon fundraising effort going on currently, the link to which is hosted in our announcement section on the group SOS Global Indians. Please take a look. It's voluntary, but if you consider supporting us, that would help us become a more professional and structured organization in time to come and be able to dedicate more resources to doing more of the good work that we're already doing. Also, please do like, subscribe to our SOS Global Indians YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of the important videos and updates that we are putting out, for example like this. And also do click on the bell icon so the next video that comes up from our side, you wouldn't miss it. Take care, fly safe, and if you have any further questions, please email us on sosglobalindians@gmail.com. Have a good day.